Good evening, everyone. And we are live again here on Conversations with the Love Crusader. It is another Sunday evening, and we are so glad to be here again. I promise you it's going to be a great evening because God has put together some wonderful people here to talk to us and to share with us tonight. I'll do a very quick introduction of my beautiful couple and my handsome uncle. He's married, please. Let me just state that now before you people start eyeing him. So we have Durodola Oluwakayode, full name. I call him Sake or Otumba K. He is a friend and a brother here in the UK. Our journey started when we were together in South Africa, and God brought us here to the UK. He is a computer guru, a scientist when it comes to computers, and he's also a very wise man. I call him a wise young man. Okay, I'll leave it at that. When we start talking, you will understand why. I also have my daughter and her husband, Evangelist and Mrs. Dosumu, are here. I'm super excited to have them here. Lilian Obehi is my daughter, in whom I'm very well pleased, very proud of her. She is a mother. She is a public servant. She is a businesswoman. When I first met this lady, one of the things that attracted me to her is that she could develop 10 business plan while standing. Just standing there, she can just start reeling. She was a living, moving business plan. And I liked that sharpness about her. She is building a very big business. If you've not heard of it, Learn Timeless, Learn Closet, Learn Ready to Wear. She'll tell you more about it later. And her handsome husband, Evangelist Dosumu, is here. He is also a scientist, a computer scientist. I have computer gurus here today, but we're not talking about computer. We are all talking about love. The love of God is what has brought us together. So welcome everyone. You want to say hello to our viewers and our listeners?
Hello, good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here today. It's nice to be with these wonderful people to share and learn from everyone. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Sake.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today to have this awesome discussion, and I'm looking forward to sharing and learning.
Hello, good evening,
Amen.
everyone. It's nice being a part of this conversation this evening, and I'm looking forward to having a splendid time with everyone here. So
God
let's
bless
have
you.
the
Thank you all
wonderful
for
time.
coming. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. Please share the links. Share the links with your friends, your brothers, your sisters via YouTube. It's Men Fences TV on YouTube. It's at Men Fences on Facebook. We are going to try to be on Instagram today. It's at Men Fences _love on Instagram. Share with your friends and your brothers and your sisters so they can learn with us and share with us and join conversation. And please note, you are free to ask any questions. You can drop your chats, your comments, your observations, and your questions for us in the chat and comment box. Thank you so much for tuning in and for joining the conversation this evening. This evening, our topic is love and expectations. Love and expectations. We talked about love and giving in the last 2 weeks, and it's like the topic is never ending. We might come back to it some other time, but today we're talking about love and expectations. So we're just going to dive into it. Can somebody just help me first break down the grammar? We all know what love is about, but what's the expectation? Sake, what's expectation?
Okay. Well, the word expectation is kind of simple to me. I believe it's simple, and it's something you kind of looking up to, or something you are kind of anticipating, something you feel should come after a particular action or a reaction. So it depends on which angle you're trying to look at it from. That's what makes this topic very, very interesting and very, very delicate. And I'm using the word delicate because we live in a generation where we tend to um, not look for meaning of things ourselves. We tend to follow the meaning of what other people are putting right in front of us. So I would like us to probably follow each other and see where this leads us.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Evangelist Dosumu, love and expectations. Should love come with expectations?
Well, the for Christians, I will not necessarily want to isolate this because love is actually, in most real sense, a two-way thing. Now, and we human at our level, we always, more often than not, we attach uh, we attach expectations, we attach outcomes, we attach results, we attach an end game to whatever we are doing. Even in the real sense, out there, when you are committed, because love is basically full of commitment, and in showing commitment, there is that human part of us that have been programmed by the society that you should always get things in return for whatsoever you've brought to the table. Either may it be time, your love in quotes, affection, or it might be money wise. However, from the Christian's point of view, we are meant to follow suit just like our Father, as God is being our Father and His nature is love. Uh, who even He expects us, um, He expects some things from us, but because He knows our inadequacies and our limitation, He overlooks that and makes His love to be free and, in quotes, not expecting anything from anyone. And when we have this, that is when we can actually freely love. If for Christians, if we go through that route, you are not waiting for your quota or the next person's quota to be brought to the table before you can actually show love, or when you show love, you want it to be reciprocated, because more often than not, it will not always be the case, and you get to be frustrated when it gets to that point.
No volume.
That's the thing with this meeting. I have to remember. So, what do you say? Should love come with expectation? Do you agree with your husband? Oh,
I believe love should come with expectations because you're like bringing everything to the table. So there are things that you hope for. For me, expectation is what you hope for, although it could have the good and bad side. But for me personally, love should come with expectation.
what you hope for. I like the sound of what you hope for. Faith is the evidence of things not seen, the things we are hoping for. So we can maybe say we're talking about love and faith today, or love and hope. And I agree with you, and I also disagree with you on both sides. And I'll tell you why. Love should come with expectation. Everything in life comes with expectations. But like Evangelist Osumu has said, the issue is that because we are dealing with ourselves as human beings, there are disappointments. I remember that I was very young when I heard someone say, where there's no expectation, there's no disappointment. So, should we, because we might get hurt, because it might not go as we expect it, should we therefore not have any expectations at all? Sake, what do you think?
Um, First of all, I believe love is a two-way thing. It's not a one-way thing. Um, even God that created us, like gave us this unconditional love, still expect us to love him in return. I mean, there's an expectation involved because even if he doesn't want that, Jesus Christ wouldn't say, "Love your God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." So now, with that case, we could see that we've put ourselves in our own position and in our neighbor's position, expecting a two-way traffic. Because trust me, it comes a time even genuine love can be starved if it has no love in return.
Mhm.
So if there's no expectation, the love goes no long way. That's just it. We need to understand that love is like you planting a seed in which you expect the seed to germinate, you expect the seed to grow, and you expect the seed to give you a tree that produces fruits. If not because of that, Jesus Christ wouldn't have caused the barren tree
Mm,
because there's an
mm,
expectation attached to it. So on this case, if you know me properly, that I try to weigh my options when it comes to human personalities, and it's because I'm trying to weigh the love affection on both sides. I can go every length for someone I don't even know because I'm putting myself in that person's position, expecting somewhere, somehow, or someone somewhere to give me same courtesy. Some people call it entitlement. That's the kind of word the devil has brought into our community today to kind of make people not show unconditional efforts when they're trying to show love as well. That's just my opinion about
mm.
it.
Okay, okay. I hear you. I hear you. So it's a two-way street. We should not say because we're afraid of disappointment, then we should not have expectations. Sometimes when we talk about things like this, people think that we talk only maybe about material things, or we're talking maybe just about money, or so I want us to give like a list of what you think. What is the thing that love should expect? Let me explain. If I come to you and I say I love you, and you believe me, you agree with me that you love me, what do you expect me to do for you, or do with you, or do to you? How do I treat you as somebody I claim to love? This for me, I think, is the first basis we need to clarify when we're talking about expectation. So, Obehi, what should love expect when we say there's expectation with love?
Okay, for me, if you come around and you tell me that you love me, I expect you to be loyal. You should be kind,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
affectionate, spend
mm-hmm,
time with me.
mm-hmm,
What you love, you spend time with, quality time. Those are
mm-hmm.
just a few of my expectations because if I begin to list them, you can only imagine because I have a lot. But
If you
these
begin
are
to
the
list
few.
them,
So
it's
I
very
expect
long.
you to be loyal. You should go out with me. I love to go out. So I expect you to create time and go out with me. I like public affection, PDA, those kind of things. So, you know.
So you are talking now, you are talking in the romantic sense. Okay?
Yes,
You are now talking the romantic sense, maybe for a husband or for someone who is dating. But now I'm talking about love in general.
in general.
In general.
Okay.
So if it
Mm.
can even be the love of a brother and a sister, it can be the love of a mother to a child, it can be the love of a father to their children. If I say I love my child, what should my child expect from me? If I say I love my sister, what should my sister expect from me? And I like the fact that the first word you mentioned is loyalty. For me, it is also my A1. It's my A. Before you go to B, is loyalty, because you cannot claim to love someone and be disloyal to them. Okay, I have one summary I'm going to make of Jesus's love sermon, but let me not jump. Let me not jump there. Evangelist Dosumu, what do you think love expects? If someone like my daughter loves you, she's your wife, what do you expect from that love?
Okay. Generally, I think I tilt towards saying love is actually personified for any two any two persons or a group of people who are in love. Uh, I believe in as much you begin to attach expectations to what you look for in love, just like she rightly said, loyalty, friendship, commitment. You know, it's when you attach expectation to things like that, which I actually agree that that should be an expectation of any set of persons or a group of people or an individual who look forward to be loved. However, once expectations comes in, uh, I'm sorry to say, one is likely to get disappointed, and I'm going to explain now because human capacity and capability are limited. There will be a point that one's loyalty will be tested,
Mhm.
and you're going to make decisions not because you are not loyal to that person, but at that particular point in time you're even being disloyal to the person might actually bring a good of the person. But when we now attach it to that my expectation is this person must always be loyal to me, then there is just a program at the back of the mind that is waiting for the day that person will be disloyal. It's always the case. So I would rather say to an individual, when we as a person that is coming bringing forth the aspect of love, we bring our game to the table, we bring the whole of us to the table in terms of being loyal, not actually having at the back of our mind the person's loyalty as in return. Because now, at every particular point where you begin to have an expectation, there will always be a need to ask for more. Now,
Hmm.
that more, you are not sure if that person can give or guarantee it. It's I've seen it in place of work. I've seen it even in the home. You
Yeah.
just you expect this person, you expect this from this person, and that particular point in time, let's just okay, okay, let's come to the issue of marriage. I need you to be open to me, and you just go for a business meeting, and I want to be real here, and you have to make a decision right there and there, and it's not, you already know that this, or maybe let's say church meeting, and you are not supposed to divulge some information because it's not out of uh I don't want to share it with my wife, or I don't want to share it with this person. Do you understand now? But because you've always expect that I must always be carried along, now when the not being carried along come in, even when you get to know that it's for the greater cause, you feel disappointed. And that's what expectation brings. Rather, I will always expect every person, every individual to bring forth their best into loving. Thank you.
I totally agree with you, and I like the balance that you are bringing to the conversation, because there is what we call, and I think this is the point from which you're coming. There's realistic and unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
We're going to come to that, but before I come to that, let me hear Sake's idea of what love should expect, and then we'll come back to realistic and unrealistic expectations.
Okay. As I said earlier on, the word love is very, very awesome, very, very awesome, and at the same time simple, complex, depending on which angle you want to come in from, and what
Mhm.
expectation coming with it makes it looks more further mathematics. So I broke this down many years ago
Mm.
with a simple phrase, which I told my wife as well, which is whatever I expect from you, that's what I'm gonna give to you. That means I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. So you have to put yourself in my shoes because we cannot put rules of don't and do's and whatsoever on a manual of love.
Mm-hmm.
The day you
Okay.
put that rule, that's the day you are going to bite yourself at the back yourself because you will be the first to break it. Now, human being is dynamic. We move with emotions and we move with so much thinking in our heads. And I'll ask myself, do a child have expectation from a mother's love?
Yes.
And I will say yes. But before the expectation, the woman proved it. Parental love proved it. Because a baby in which you nurture, when you brought the baby into this life, never expected anything from you, never expected the care, never requested for the care. You showed the baby unconditional love because you love the baby. There was no manual to it. You can't stand the baby crying. You can't stand the baby being sick. You cannot be disloyal to the baby. You cannot think or double think for the baby. You have just one thinking for that baby, which is take care of the baby. Make sure the baby is comfortable. Make sure the baby is taught in love. Make sure I can sacrifice for sure for my baby. So in that case, you can see that love doesn't come with any manual or teaching. It comes naturally. So in the case where you put yourself in the position of others, you will see that it's very easy to love. You will see that it's very easy for you not to be disloyal. So in the case where you have to put in your mind, I have to loyal to this person, that means you never love that person.
Mm.
The moment you start recounting how
It
you
should come
want to treat
naturally.
that
It
person,
should come naturally if you
it
truly
should
love the
come
person for
freely,
the thing. Yes. Yes.
freely,
Whether
without
this person
thinking about
expects
it,
it or not. True. I
without
agree.
thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've sat down and see this topic you mentioned. I've cracked this topic over 10, 15 years ago because I see that that's the problem we have in our society. Everybody wants to take a win. Even in love, people want to take a win. But I ask myself a question: a mother or a father that truly loves the child, does he take a win?
Mm. Mm.
Siblings still try to take a win, and the ones that love each other genuinely take a dive. Not a
Mm.
win, but a dive, just to make things go.
Thank you. Thank you, Sake. I totally I'm liking the opposite, the positive and the vibe that we are giving with this topic because when it came to me, it was the same way my thought was going this way and then coming back that way. And I'm like, okay, God, what are you talking about? But putting it the way Sake has put it is to say that there are some expectations that naturally comes with love. The truth is that yes, we are human beings. Yes, we cannot say we will be perfect. There's no perfection on
Yeah.
earth, right?
Yep.
However, there's some way, and I like Evangelist Dosmu was saying, just be sure of your own self. Bring your own self and your own love to the table, and don't expect that you know you might not get that in return. Just take out the expectation because if you put expectation in it, then you can get disappointed. However, we're trying to say that since it takes two to tango in the matter of love, and it takes two hands to wash each other clean, the proper thing is that when we say we love someone or someone claims to love us, then there are some natural expectations that come with this love. And I'll give you a very good example. If I walk up to a girl and I'm a guy and I say, oh, bro, oh, sister, I love you so much. I love you more than my mother. You are the only cockroach in my cupboard, the only sugar in my tea. I don't know whether they're still using all those to toast anymore. And then I say, oh, can I have your phone number? And she smiles, she blushes, she gives me her number. Then I don't call her. Okay? I don't call her. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Then maybe after about a week, I see her on the street. Her mother sent her message. I block her on the road. I say, my love, please, what do you think is going to be the first response of that lady? Like, how am I your love? I think that's what the lady would respond. Why? She would have expected that in the course of this 1 week, you would have said hello or chatted her up. Do you get what I mean? And yes, maybe she would have been disappointed now because she was expecting that and it didn't happen, and that's a disappointment, which is what Evangelist is pulling out for us. But these are things that should actually come naturally with love. If you truly say you love someone, there are things like respect, loyalty, compassion, care, affection. They should come naturally with love. If we look at God, who is our ultimate example of love, he didn't just say, oh, I love you, and left us alone. He left us a lot of promises. He's left us with a hope for the future. He's left us with the Holy Spirit to comfort us, even when he's not here physically anymore. You know, he still speaks to us. He wants to commune with us. He likes to always be around us. He likes to fellowship with us. What are we talking about? That's love. My praying and staying in fellowship with God doesn't add to God. Neither does it take away from God. But because he loves me, he wants to fellowship with me. So these are some of the things that I think comes, naturally, that should naturally. Defense. You want to defend this person, right? You want to be there for this person. And somebody has said, if I love you, I expect love in return. Do you think that is a good thing? Is that a good thing? Let me go to Lillian. What do you think? Is that a good thing? Someone just commented to say, if I love you, I expect love in return. Do you think that's a good thing?
Yes, I believe that's a good thing. Because this is for us that are married. If I love you, I'm expecting you to love me back home. I'm not expecting anything otherwise.
Okay, so what for those who are not married?
For those who are not married, some expectations are reasonable, some are not reasonable. So I would not say you should, especially for guys, Sha, I would not say you should expect her to love you back. Except maybe she has grown to that level. Then you can now require that of her. But if not, no, you shouldn't put your expectations up there so you are not disappointed.
So a guy is, for example, loving a girl, sending her to school, paying all her bills, taking care of her parents, building upstairs. And this is a very, very familiar story, right? In Africa,
yes.
Yeah, he's helping the family to repair the roof of their house. He's paying school fees for the younger brother, all in the expectation that when this girl finishes school and become a graduate, I will marry her. And then this girl finishes school and comes out and says, this guy is an illiterate, he's below my level. And the guy wants to drink whatever to kill himself. Is that a realistic expectation? So I'm coming back to realistic and unrealistic expectations. In our relationships, what would be examples of unrealistic or unrealistic expectations? Evangelist.
No, just thank you, Ma. Just like the example you cited. The reason why I'm saying that I don't actually go with expectation. I don't think anybody should go with expectation. If we take the mindset of God, though he has expectation, but he doesn't dwell on that expectation. Just like I said, human, we are limited, and people's taste. For instance, let's make it clear. Most of the things we understand by love was more of what the immediate environment have taught us as we grow older, what we've picked from the society, and most especially what's online out there. So more often than not, it does not necessarily depict what
The
the
influence of
actual
there. You're right.
thing is. You know, you like the guy, you met a girl 3 years ago. Even people in marriage, there's a day you just wake up and you feel you don't love this person again. it's
Yes.
it's happened. You just feel. So what I'm trying to say, so at that particular point, if that other person is not matured, hasn't grown to that stage to manage that particular period, wherever when he feels he doesn't love you again, we are not God, so we are speaking from the human point of view. So what happened then? So maybe for the lady, just felt she reevaluates her life and she has a better understanding. Do you understand? You now want to tie her down to the fact that I've actually provided all this. Now the question should actually be, uh, if I don't have such motives, will I have done the same thing? I think when motives begin to come in, expectations now, then it puts the thing, it now becomes a very thin line between love and actually otherwise. Because basically, even as the Bible talks about it, when you look at it deeply, what as it's been explained in the Bible, it's you actually see our being loving, like I said, is more of personal than to others. Now, like, this is just me, this is just me, this is what. And that's so. Now if the person doesn't marry you, you just feel that life continues, that I've actually done you service to humanity. Now, but because he has so much attract expectation to it, and I won't blame him, because that's what the society have actually, what is being taught by the society, so you cannot say it's wrong. Do you understand? And some people will not be able to manage. So to wrap up this, I for every person or individual who goes on in this line of love, we should always have it at the back of our mind that is more of us to shelled out than what we want to receive in return, so that in the long run, when that is not forthcoming, life just continues. Life just continues, and you just like this popular saying, say, don't ask yourself what American can do for you. You ask yourself, what can you do for the person? And I think that's a very strong saying. That is where every person should stand. So yes, you expect, if it doesn't come, fine. If it comes, glory be to God. And that is actually when it actually becomes love. But when you actually have an expectation and you have a yardstick to measure, or when it's up to this, based on, not based on who you are, but based on what the society has taught us, then it is no longer love. I don't know how to define that again. Do you understand? Because that yardstick of measurement has pushed one to the other side. Thank you.
I read somewhere that expectation in love can be a breeding ground for disappointment and resentment. So when you have expectations and then this person is not meeting those expectations, you begin to resent them. You begin to look at them like, they are not enough, or they are not doing enough, or you might even have the best person by your side, but because you have set the bar maybe very high, you have some unrealistic, I'm still using that word, Lillian said it's unreasonable expectations or unrealistic expectations. So because I have said, okay, I love you, then I should buy you a Gucci. I should buy you diamond. I should wait. I don't know some of the things that some people used to ask for these days. Sake, unrealistic expectation. What do you have to say about it? For me, I feel that a lot of people are living in la la land, and that is why we have lots of disappointments. You have lots of people with heartache. You talk to some young people, they tell you they don't even believe in love. In the first place, what were you expecting love to be? Or what did you think that love is. So what do you have to say about unreasonable or unrealistic expectations?
All right. Thank you very much. First of all, based on the example you gave, I will term it to be a thankless responsibility. One,
Mm,
when you going all out in the name of trying to show love, some people know no bounds. They go into a point of what is called a thankless responsibility. Things which naturally they shouldn't force themselves to do. Now, you
mhm,
ask me a question again. What does love entails? Sacrifice. Okay. So now, if you claim to love a lady which wasn't ready for marriage and isn't your wife and isn't your mother, nor your sister, nor your cousins, nor your blood, it's not even in your district, in your community where you believe you are an area father, assumingly, and you decide to fix the leaking roof of their house when you have your mother crying for help financially, you
oh my God.
decide to pay her
I don't
school
know where you
fees
are going.
when you have your sister or your cousin somewhere that needs a financial help,
Mm,
and you decide to go all out in a way to impress the lady. To me, I don't even term that to be love. You are
mm,
trying to buy her. You are trying to buy that individual. You are trying to enslave that person. Most of the time, when you see men that nurture a woman through school the way, and they do all those kind of things, and that lady ends up marrying them, she has made a mistake of her life. Because for every single thing, it reminds her where he picked her from.
mm,
He enslaves her from the beginning of the marriage to the last day they draw their breath. Why? Because that conscience you'll be giving the lady on you can't do this because I did this.
mm,
God, when God was doing a lot of things for us, He wasn't doing it because they want to make reference to it. He was doing it for us to live as an example. So now something, for example, I'll tell you now, a friend called me one day and told me, can you borrow me this? And I said, do you know what? I can only borrow you with the money I can give you.
exactly.
Because I know the moment I borrow you and you can't give it back to me, I'm still fine. I'm not upset. In my mind, I've given you. If you return it, good. If you don't, oh well and good. But if I give you something else that eat deep into my own future, and you happen not to do what? Pay me back my money, then we have an issue. So
Mm,
in the case where you try to entice with money, some people don't have money, they use their services to entice.
mm,
Get my point? They used to entice the opposite sex, even to entice even people who they call their mentors. Because trust me, it's not only girlfriends that people try to impress. Thank God you've known me for years. I'm not a fan of impressing people. I don't even care. What I do is I do things that make me sleep at night. I do things that when people do it back to me, I feel okay with it. Then I do it to you. So it's as if you come in hot, I'm hot. If you come in cold, I'm cold. Then in the case where love is applied to this situation, I will tell you there is hierarchy. There is hierarchy of love. You will say I've started again. There is level in which you show love to people because people are not in the same class. The kind of love I will show to an outsider, which I have no expectation from, is not what I will show to an insider, which I genuinely need an expectation on the person's case. Because I'm human and I need a solid rock as well. So if I'm gonna be your rock, you can't be my paper. You
bam.
have to be
Rock
my
paper
rock.
scissors.
So that's it.
Otumba Sake. I like that analogy. If I'm going to be your rock, you can't be my paper. My husband would always say, If I love you and you don't love me, we're wasting time.
Simple.
If one person is only singing about love, one person displaying love, one person is talking love, one person is showing love, you are in a relationship with yourself.
Joseph.
You are in a
Self
relationship with
relationship.
yourself. It is expected, first of all, that love gets love back. The first expectation of love is that when you give love, you get love back. And I know that it's not in all situations. Truth be told, we
But
can
at
say we
least
set up.
you must bring something to the table, no
Definitely,
matter what.
you cannot just be a passive member of the family, a passive member in the relationship, and then only one person is firing up, only one person is buying gifts, only one person is writing poem, only one person is. Very soon the person is going to get tired. I assure you. And
One
like my
out.
husband always say, love hibernates. There's a need to find it, to keep it alive. It's true.
Yes.
You know, keep it alive. Sorry, let me unmute you, Lillian, so we can hear what you're saying. There's
I
reason.
said it's true. There's a
Yeah,
need to add more fire to the
keep
love
it
because
alive.
love can
And
get cold.
in
And
the love,
it's
in
conscious.
especially the marriage relationship, let us be very sincere with ourselves. It takes two to tango.
Yes.
If you are
Totally.
enjoying a relationship and you are married, you are listening to me now. The man is the one who calls you on phone. The man is the one who buys gift. The man is, because some of our sisters believe that they came to this world to be receivers. It is not in a marriage or in a lovers relationship. There has to be a time when you have to bring something to the table, like Sake has said. So when you are a rock and I'm a rock, then we stand gidigba, like as we will say it in our African parlance. That is what makes our marriage stronger. That's what makes our relationship stronger. However, it would be unrealistic of me to expect an outsider to treat me the way I will treat them. And that's setting up yourself for disappointment.
Huge one.
If I get up this
For an
morning,
outsider, but for a spouse, you should expect something.
definitely, that's what we're saying. For your spouse, you should expect loyalty. You should expect, first of all, that your spouse loves you back. And that is why if you are in a relationship with someone, both sides, whether male or female, before you start committing yourself into it, before you start giving all your life, the one that by the time they now break up with you, you'll be looking for River Niger or Lagoon. It is better that you define where both of you stand. Because you might just end up loving yourself. You're loving this person, the person really doesn't love you. And that's one of the worst things that can happen to love. When love is not reciprocated, it becomes very frustrating and disappointing. So you might not love me back the way I love you, but you must love me in the way I want to be loved.
That's another one. That's another highlight.
That's another topic.
The way
because
I want
when we
to
talk
be
about
loved.
the love languages,
True.
when we talk about the love languages, you will discover that we all love in different ways.
Yes.
True.
And the way I want to be loved might be different from the way Sake would want to be loved.
Very
So
true.
even before you commit yourself into that marriage, into that relationship, it's always good to sit down and ask yourself these questions. Okay, this is how this person wants to be loved. Can I give it? Don't start what you cannot finish.
Please. So.
This is how this auntie likes to be loved. Can I do it? Can
I keep up?
Let me
Can
speak
I keep up?
our local balance. Can my
keep up?
Carry this one? This man said this is how he likes to be loved. Can I give him this love before ever you enter? And if you're already inside, there's nothing stopping us from learning. Because like Evangelist said earlier, we have nurture. Nurture teaches us different types of love. We have the environment around us. We have culture, So some people have very warped ideas of what love is. And if you come in, maybe from example of parents, maybe from an example of how they grew up, maybe who was talking to them, or but if you find yourself in that kind of situation, you can learn. You can learn to improve yourself. Don't just say, I was watching one very funny video this week where the person was saying something like, don't blame your zodiac sign. I think it was Sister Lilian that put it on her status. He wanted to knock people, said, stop blaming your zodiac sign for bad character. Change.
Yes.
Stop saying, no, this is me. This is how I was born. Anyone can change. Anyone can learn if you want to learn.
Stop
Do you
making
understand
excuses.
So let's not be unreasonable in our expectation, but let us also know that love has expectation. Okay, so let me give us our last question because our time is almost up. I'll allow you to say something. If I am in a relationship and I'm talking about a love relationship and my expectation is not being met, what can I do? Quickly, what can I do?
Well, okay, I believe number one thing is to communicate with your partner. You have to communicate with the person. Talk to the person. Discuss it. This is what I expect. Oh, I like this. I like that. Can we try to make this work? Make sure that both of you are on the same page. But if you realize after the discussion, you both are not on the same page, pack your load and go.
Are you telling husbands to leave their wife or wife to leave husbands?
No, but you said a relationship now. It's not just marriage you're talking about.
The marriage relationship is also a relationship. So if I'm in a marriage, for example, my husband is not meeting my expectation, or my wife is not meeting my expectation, what can I do?
You have to communicate. Okay. That's a very good point.
I agree with it.
Communicate and love. Communicate. Reduce your expectation.
Okay.
Offended you. Forgive it. Repackage your expectation and just decide to love. I know it's painful, but just decide to love.
Okay, Evangelist, what do you think? If someone is feeling like their expectations are not being met, what can they do?
Firstly, I still want to go back to what you said the last time. I am of the school of thought. Someone that gets to 30 or maybe probably 40 years or 30, 40 years before being married, and you marry and you have expectation, the likelihood of your expectations being met, even when there is real love, it's almost going to be 30 to 40%, and I'm going to explain. For one, if you take a typical Nigerian society, put it in common, and you see someone from Bayelsa, or don't let me name, someone from the south region, and he has grown up there all the days of his life, and he married another typical person from the northeast, or not the north central now, and he married somebody from the northwest. I'm going to tell you, because of the background and for the years that have rolled by, all we've discussed here, it's going to be it's going to come to the fore, but it's going to take time. Now, women generally are never patient for the time. You want it now. No, and I'm very realistic. Okay, my wife just says that she loves going out. Do you get? And I used to tell her, you cannot just wake up one morning and said you want to drag me along. No. Even while I was single, where I was saying, I stayed in my room from morning to night. If you marry that kind of a person, I don't want the magic you want the person to do. No, we just have to. These are the practical issues now. Oh, I love this, I love that. Now, to such a relationship, that is an unrealistic expectation. The person will not give away 30 years or 40 years of his life because he's married. Even if you say he should learn. Learning takes time. It takes a good 20 years to be qualified to work in Nigeria, to go through 20 years of schooling. No, because we have to. That's why it says that when we talk about love, expectations, we just make you a frustrated being. It's more of you giving your own part of love. That is what is going to communicate that. For someone that married a, you see a lady that is hardworking and is social, she's so ambition. Do you understand? You know, you set into marry the person and you now get married. Now, because of where you are coming from, like me, before I got married, there are some decisions I make up. I said that even if it's a mad person I'm going to marry, I will know how to play my game. So it wasn't all about the length of, those are things I've settled now, so that even when my wife came on board and so many things maybe I see her do, I don't even, I don't read, what do you call it? Because someone that is already 30 years, what do you want? What will I say in 2 3 years that is going to change that? No, it's, I don't know. Maybe you might, it might be of help, but me, I'm just saying naturally, because these are the issues that other people have in their homes and they don't come to talk, and we think everything is reasonable. So we should understand that love, like that's the point I was coming from, that is more of you, irrespective of how there's a tribe in Nigeria, the way they know, okay, if it's slapping somebody, that is a way of showing their love there. Or someone who is like, if they don't fight, they don't know that they've shown love to each other. Now marries you that everybody is Holy Ghost, this. Now, before both of you will come halfway, you two, you have to shift ground from your gentility. Maybe if it is 3 slap before, you know that it have to come to, but you will not say that the person will give up the 20 years. He has 40 years of experience, 40 or 30 years, 30 something years of experience. So we should also, like, when we get married, do you understand? No matter what, that's why I like they said it's good to court to know the person. But even at that, once we come to the understanding, like a preacher says, he says that it's actually a failure, and most of the reason why we have problems in love is because we want to relate with the person from the human perspective. Either way to look at, to relate based on looking up unto God, to work from that perspective. In as much we allow societies to determine how we should place love, you always like someone will always say, can't you see these people? They are wearing. Me, I don't like to wear. I don't wear Ankara. Yes, I don't wear it when people are doing party. And there's nothing. Even if I love you from here to heaven and I still come back, it will not change anything. If that is what means love to that person, these are petty things. But you have to understand from that. If that is during my father's wife's this thing, she was crying. I did not even look at it for 30 years of my time, even because I told her I've actually already made. And we should also understand in marriage is that when this person have done sacrifice, we should not push it to the bound. We should not push it to the extreme. I personally, I don't attend funerals. I don't spend money in funerals. But I got married, all those things changes. Now, they now said I must wear the same ashwebi they have to do. And I said that if it is this one that will not make the person to rest in peace, it should better come alive and be spending his, the reason why I'm sharing this, so that we will learn from it, most especially the women folks. And they will come to understand, because it's more to the women, though some men are very petty. Okay, it is to do your leg like this, your mates are, if it is just for 30 something years of my life, I will stay in my room from morning to, in short, it's always very funny. I can sleep from Friday. It doesn't mean I'm lazy. But now to not say that she just, after 2 years of marriage, this man is not, give everything up. It's that does not even mean that you as a person on the other side will also not shift ground, but we both have to come to this understanding that these are gradual changes, and we will come to understand, like you, Mama, and Mr. K, that have long gone ahead in marriage. You now see that the definition for your love, what you call love in your homes, have now actually come to a common ground that both of you decided to play on. Do you get what I'm trying to say? What has been there in the early years, now you now redefine it to now say, oh, this is actually what meant to be love in our home, and not those high expectations. But before an individual actually gets to that extent, you know, just like you should know that this person, you should have that understanding. There is a programming software that has been in his head. You
That's
have
all
to
right.
help him,
A
help the
program
person to manage
software.
it to
We
that
cannot just
particular level.
we cannot just uninstall and reinstall, but we
True,
can
true.
update the different.
It's not possible. He's
You
human.
cannot you
We
cannot
can update the
uninstall.
version. Sake, we have very few minutes to go.
Oh, few
What
minutes to go.
advice do you have for
Okay.
someone who is in a relationship where they feel their expectations are not being met? Very few minutes,
Okay.
2 minutes, Sake. Our
All
time is
right.
almost.
Okay. All right. Good. Normally, love is defined as an intense feeling or deep affection. So, with that kind of definition, and you feel someone isn't giving you the kind of vibe in which you need, and you need to correct that person. First of all, I believe she made justice of it by using the word communication. One. Then, two, I also believe that we can choose to be hungry and choose not to be hungry. We can choose every single option we make in life. So, even though it's difficult for us, that's where the word love comes in. The word
Mm,
love, just because of this reason, just because I have a soft spot for this person,
mm,
I guess I can bend a bit. I guess
exactly.
I can even bend way more. That
Compromise.
is if I have a soft spot for that person. But
Mm,
trust me, if I don't care for that person, I don't give a damn. Go to heaven and earth. In short, go anywhere. You- be put in today and carry armor tank and come. There's nothing that will happen. All hell will just let loose. We'll finish it here. Everybody will draw the line and go. But the moment there is a love and a deep affection in that relationship, then trust me, there is nothing that you can't do for that person.
mm,
Unconditional love. I won't
mm.
go more than that.
Thank
Just like
you.
you saying a son sees his mother or his father and the father says, don't do this. I'll be like, okay, I've had, I'm not doing it. Just because you are interfering in this, I'm taking my pedal off this argument. That's what is called love. Not
Mm.
oppression, but love.
Thank you so, so much. I can't thank you guys enough for coming this evening. This has been an interesting gist, interesting conversation. I'm so, so happy. I like the right and the left side and how we have looked at it from every angle. We have agreed that love comes with expectations. However, these expectations need to be realistic. Don't go into love with unreasonable expectation. Don't expect that the man that has been a bachelor for 30 years and is always at home will suddenly start going out. It's going to take some time because he loves, he's going to compromise. So be patient and wait until he can reinstall the software of staying at home and install the one of going out. That's just an example, people. We're just saying that because we love ourselves, we should be able to compromise for the happiness of the other person. Love is not only about you, you are not in it alone. If you work to make the other person happy and the other person is working to make you happy, then both of you are happy. That is what a relationship is about. But if you are seeking your own, First Corinthians tells us that, First Corinthians 13 tells us that love does not seek its own. So you
Mm.
should seek the love, the happiness of the other person. Let that person also seek your own happiness. And don't say, oh, I don't want to be disappointed, so I don't want to have some expectation. No, 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 no. Love does not exist without expectation. There are some expectation that comes with love. And if you know you're not going to meet that expectation, stop claiming that you love the person. Stop saying you love someone that you don't want to respect them. Don't say you love someone that you're not loyal to them. Don't say you love someone, you go behind their back, you backbite, you want to destroy them. Love doesn't do those things. You must, as you have agreed that you love this person, act in love, give in love, speak in love, work in love. Let's all continue to live in the love of God. Let's have an amazing week that is filled with love. Evangelist and Mrs. Dosumu, I miss you so much. I'm so happy to have seen, even if it's just on camera today. Thank you so much for your time. I love
Thank you,
you.
ma.
Is blessed in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Sake Otumba himself, the big Egun. God bless you so much. Thank you, thank you.
Amen,
The
ma.
next time Sake
Thank
is
you.
coming here, he will be with his wife. Don't worry. and we'll have a lot to share. Thank you so much, everyone who has joined. Thank you for your comments, for your questions. Thank you for sharing this video. Thank you for joining us again next time. Next Sunday, we're going to come with another amazing set of people, and we are going to have true conversations about love. I love you all. Thank you. Stay in love. God bless you. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
ma.